Greetings and welcome to Destiny and Dice, a D&D live stream set in the world of Eberron. We hope you have enjoyed the show if you are returning. If you are brand new to the show, we hope you have a good time. If you want to find out more about the characters and the players, you can visit our website at destinyanddice.com. And previous episodes are located on our YouTube, as well as some one-shots that we've run recently. Check those out. They're fun. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. When last we met, the Shadow Slayers had once again split the party, with half of them staying to repair the scrying room of Whitehearth, while the other half chased after Bruise. Z and Kisriel had the opportunity to discuss how scrying works, while Cherry and Fixer did their thing. Meanwhile, Rix and Nyx had caught up to Bruise, and were there to support him as he broke down once more into deep, racking sobs. When the others came to join them, Z removed her charming spell from him, and after some debate, the party decided to try the newly acquired red key to see if it would indeed augment the orange and open the correct junction. It did. The party was once again faced with stairs. The party proceeded up the stairs. Taking him by the hand, Nyx led Bruise, who seemed downtrodden and morose, walking in a daze that held him almost as much as Z's charming spell had. Upon reaching the landing and beyond, the party discovered the room that they had seen in the scrying room. As Bruise approached the molten glass vat, a glass golem slowly raised itself from the bubbling liquid. When it seemed that a fight was about to ensue, the glass figure noticed Nyx, disguised as a member of House Cannith, and it lowered itself once more into the vat without causing a ruckus. Then it was made known that a ship was in dry dock on the other side of the oversized workshop, and Bruise, upon seeing it, knew it was none other than the once proud ship he had served on, the Enchantress Song. It was under repair from severe damage, but carefully he made his way on board the ship with Z close behind. Rix and Kisriel had begun a search of their immediate vicinity and discovered some intriguing things. First, another door that had been secured against entry, leading into another column that rose to the roof, or the ceiling of this room. Second, that an entire wall might be a giant-sized door. And finally, a blue key gem with no door attached to it. Nyx, having unintentionally calmed the glass golems, had begun breaking up the glass that had cured around the chest. Upon breaking it, she and Jalira were able to open the chest, and inside they found 3 packages, 2 of which were smaller in size and 1 larger. They quickly transferred the smaller packages into the bag of holding, and when they seemed unable to lift the larger one out, decided to use Jalira's rope trick to investigate the smaller packages. Meanwhile, having wandered the ship and investigated the crew's quarters, Bruise heard the barest of cries quickly covered up coming from the hold. Moving slowly, he made his way to the hold and found many crates stacked up at the stern of the ship, but with just enough space that someone could very carefully sneak around. As he did so, he came face to face with a scarred and tattered man who he recognized as Colin, his former shipmate. The man, in fear, moved back farther, forcing Bruce to come further in. Rounding the final corner, Bruce found himself in a little makeshift room staring at both Colin and Odiana. Don't be frightened. I would do anything to protect you two, he said in a quiet voice. The woman, bringing forth a small bundle, asked, "Would you protect all 3 of us?" Which is where we're going to pick up today's session. There are 3 groups kind of divided, 3 groups kind of divided up. I suppose we could go 4 even. Bruise with Odiana and Colin, Zanim and Kisriel, whose foot is currently through a board in the ship. Rix, who is standing on the platform wondering why nobody is listening to him and coming out from where they are, and Jalira and Nyx up investigating the chest, with Jalira getting ready to cast her rope trick.
Sounds about
Is
right.
there a group that wants to go first?
And Z is trying to help get Kiz's foot out.
Okay.
Because her foot's through the deck. Z saw it. Everything seems to be tense but copacetic with Bruise. So she's gonna go, try to help Kiz.
Okay. So Z's gonna go help Kiz. That'll take a minute or 2. I'm gonna go with the other lone man at this point, Rix. Nobody seems to be listening to anything you're telling them to do at this point. What would you like to do?
He's not frustrated. He's just like, okay. I guess he's like, they're doing these things. But he noticed the rope trick. So he's going to go climb down and see if he can join his sister and Cherry up in there.
Okay.
For now.
So you're going to head that way. So we will go that direction. From there to Lyra. You said you cast rope trick. Do you want to go ahead and pull out your new rope trick token and do that?
Yay.
Oh, I'll just move him, I guess.
So is that what you were working on today, where you were like, I am God? The map? Was that the rope trick token?
You're gonna want to turn it so that the hole isn't over the back.
I know. I'm.
Oh, okay.
It's
I'm thinking
so
how I
cute.
want to do this.
I love it.
Is that a direct quote from Mike?
Yeah.
No, it's not a direct quote. I said the words "I am invincible." Thank you very much.
You're doing.
Julia's trick. It's so precious.
I may
Right now
have
she's-
seen GoldenEye one too many times.
That's a throwback.
Right? Okay. Okay. So you guys, you cast your rope trick spell, creating this extra dimensional space. And you guys kind of scramble up into it, you and Nyx. Rix is on his way over to you now. As you enter that space, what do you do?
I'm. I can't actually.
Are you able to move your piece into there or not?
Oh,
Do I need to put it to the back? I can put it to the back. if
maybe.
that would help.
Well, that would put it.
to the back.
Yeah.
Since it's on the token layer, it won't mess with the map too much. So there you go. So you guys are up there doing stuff.
Okay, I want to pull out what we took out
Okay.
and
So you go to open the first little wrapped up package. It's about the size of your hands, kind of pressed together. So like, that. You kind of unwrap it and unfold it. You find a diamond-shaped piece of adamantine
yeah.
with strangely familiar sigils and runes
Great.
engraved on it.
You think it's is that it?
I guess so. I guess the half moon one, I think in like pulling out Z's notes. The half moon one they think is in Zendrick and might already have.
They have one from Zendrick.
Okay, they might have the half moon shape. We don't know where this zigzag
What about
one
the other
is, but
pieces?
Do you
Sorry.
do you think Zendrick was Red Hearth? And if that's
I don't
true,
know.
then there's a is there a fourth Hearth we don't know about?
Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
There were four. All right, go. Let's see what the other piece that you have. The other package.
Okay, but first, I had some fixer come fly in.
Okay.
First, I am casting Cure Wounds on you.
Yeah, she needs it.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Ooh, 15. Good roll.
She would be like, "Thank you."
I'm gonna give her a hug. It's a little side.
She would just nod.
Is that all we grabbed from the chest? Is there more, or was it just the one?
There
in
was
the
two
big thing?
packages.
We couldn't
You
lift one of
grabbed
them.
two that were in your bag, and then the one was left in there, in the chest.
So is
The
there
one that was
another
left
one?
on the chest is about the size of like a manhole cover.
Okay.
You almost smashed poor Nyx's fingers. I'm just kidding. That was a side comment joke, but yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you reach in and you grab the other package that you produced out of the chest.
Yeah.
You unwrap it slowly, carefully. You find something that looks like it's an exact copy of the other piece that you already have.
I didn't know there could be multiple copies.
You talked about how it was possible that you might be able to, with enough time, make a copy of the schema that you had. Could someone have copied it at some point?
That makes the fact that it makes
One
this
of
a little
these could
scarier
be-
because it means that somebody else could duplicate this and cause another apocalypse. We don't need that. Okay. We'll put them both back in the bag. You don't
We
think
pull
that
out the place that we have, see it, compare them side by side.
all right. Pair them side by side.
I'm
Get
getting
my-
a Scottish accent somewhere.
Getting my goggles on, getting my magnifiers on. Really studying the two. Crossing my eyes and trying to get them to overlap.
They
They look-
seem identical.
Like unnaturally identical?
I mean, not unnaturally identical, but
Okay.
they seem identical. There's no just, hey guys, this is a fake one. No, they seem close. Like
Close
almost
enough.
exact. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Who else needed heals? Put them in my bag. Try not to think about it.
I think Rix and Bruce got hit by something.
Okay.
Probably the
Well-
rock I ran into.
Probably should let them know what we found, but probably I found a thing.
The thing that Bruce got hit by was Nyx.
Yes.
There's
True
plenty
story.
of that.
I mean, there is that.
True story.
Nice.
Sell
Good
it
build.
again.
You know, when you get like duplicate quest items, you can sell one of them. It's usually worth a lot of gold. So
I'm just reading down the poorchoices.com list over here. Oh.
So the tongs.
get a bidding war going between both sides of Kenneth, the Emerald Claw, and the Lord of Blades.
Oh man.
Are you okay? Next.
And then like half the party have Jalera make another copy and sell it to the other half too.
Then we have the
Next
Nations
take.
Against Nations war again, and Kiss's parents die all over it.
Next would take a deep breath and just, yeah.
You don't think this glass vat can destroy them, do you?
No. I'm considering putting them in the chest, dropping the chest at the bottom of the glass vat. But and then letting it cool. That would take a lot of work for someone to be able to get into it.
Yeah. I would feel better if we just broke the big one. If the little ones can be duplicated, I'm hoping at least the big one is more essential.
It's not. We have to find out if that thing out there is being built or taken apart. Oh, either way, they could have created a schema by taking it apart. Couldn't they?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't even know. Like the reverse engineering type of thing that you mentioned at some point or another.
Yeah.
Like you found the pieces that we found and you took them apart and took some. Oh my gosh.
Let's talk to the others.
Yes. Are you? Are you all right?
I feel like we're gonna make the wrong choice. Or we're gonna screw everything up.
It's about this point
like-
that Rick starts to climb in.
Oh, hey.
Hey, what'd you find?
A thing.
Duplicate schemas.
Dupe. The same one.
So
They
wait,
duplicated it. I just pull out the drawing. I don't bother
He's
pulling out
like-
the scheme. I just pull out the drawing and
he
show
just
it.
goes, concerning. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So we found the schemas here, which means that the front door shouldn't be far from here.
We found confirmed. We found a duplicate of the schema that we have.
On this big
There's
part.
a possibility someone's trying to reverse engineer that dragon thing or build it. I don't know which.
Why can't people let world-ending machines just be, extinct? All right. No, I'm just trying
This
to
big
to
circle
think.
part in the drawing. It's in that chest stuff. It was too heavy to lift, so I closed it again just in case someone was conveniently screwing it at that moment.
Okay.
But it's down there. I mean, I didn't confirm. I didn't want to leave it open too long. It was covered, but it looks right. What'd you find? Do you need heals? While we're in here, Bruce needs heals.
I'm just a little scuffed, but I'm fine. I think Bruce probably needs it a little more.
Okay. There's a lot going on out there. Did you find anything?
Well, Kiz and I were looking around. We found a door. It could lead anywhere. Kiz apparently thinks that it leads outside, but I mean, it very well could, but I don't know why they'd have the outside entrance lead into a room with a thing out there. But you never know. I mean, it's Kenneth. Probably thought it was intimidating enough. But we found there's a space for blue key gem on the second floor. There's no door, but
Well, did you find a way to open that
well,
door to the entrance?
it's got an alarm spell on it. I recognized it from the wire. I've seen Jalira
Well, I
use
just
it.
mean, could that's not connected to a door be connected to that giant door?
It's entirely possible. I mean, I didn't want to go opening doors and using key charms without the rest of us there, just in case.
Understand.
Bruce went to go look at the ship, and you didn't see the ship, did you?
Sort of. Not really. I heard
It's-
that it was the Enchantress's song.
It's
What?
yeah, it's
What?
it's Bruce's ship being sort of put back together.
That's
Yeah,
here of all places.
well, it would explain what he saw on the scrying. He said he saw
He
Oriana.
literally saw. She the one building?
I don't know. He went to go investigate. Z's with him, and Kiz went after them too. I came back to see what you guys were up to, and I saw you crawling up in here.
Okay. No, I wanted to confirm what the thingies were, and yeah, that's
Yeah. I mean, if you could put those in the bag of holding.
yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Except for the large one that we can't fit.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, it's hidden. It was hidden, right? I mean, how?
It's in a lead-lined chest.
Then we leave it in there for a moment, I guess. I don't know.
That was my hope.
Okay.
Considering putting everything back into that chest and pushing it into the vat of liquid
Right.
glass. Kind of sounds like a plan for me. But
Tempting. I mean, it would make it hard for them to find.
anyway, we should
We should meet up with the others. They've been a
Yeah,
while, so I don't know what's going on or what they found. But I
They
haven't heard any shouts or screams or bruises, rage roaring that he does.
Well, I mean, he would roar at Odiana. Let's go see what.
I don't know what's going on, but if you're done, I mean, we could go and join them to see what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I mean, this will be here for an hour. Hopefully, I can get anybody else who needs heals back up here.
Okay. Alright.
Okay.
He's
But-
not even like fully inside. He's like peeking up into it, and then he's like, I'm gonna head back there, and he climbs down.
I just hopped down.
Yeah. Going this way.
I think we're just. I don't think it's more.
It's probably a good segue.
Okay, so moving to the other end of the map, on board the ship. Gonna put Zanim roughly over here, with Kizriel roughly on the floor above her, right there. Bruce, you've come around the corner. You see everybody there. You see Odiana bring out this small infant in front of her.
Yeah. I think Bruce just kind of freezes. And it's just like wide-eyed, staring, even wider than they were a second ago. At this, bundle that she's produced. He starts swallowing hard. And kind of has to take a moment to collect himself. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, anything. I promise you, we're here to help.
They kind of visibly relax. Again, man turns to you. You called me Colin, and you called her Odiana. Are those people you obviously seem to know us? I can see it in your face. Are those who we are?
That was who I knew you as a few years ago. When we sailed together on this ship. Kind of gestures to the ship around.
Odiana, still holding baby, turns over and grabs the guy's arm and says, I knew there was something familiar about this ship.
Yeah, you put a lot of work and love into it. I have companions with me. Good people, they can be trusted. I know they'll help you too. What do you need? How did you find yourselves here?
We woke up here a while ago. Not sure how long. Lost track of time. Hard because there's no light, no obvious windows or ways to make it easy to discern how much time has passed. But we've been here for a while. Hmm. Odiana speaks up. Enough for us to, well, kind of. Wait, were we together before on this ship? She like points at like him and her.
Okay, so sure. Um, as long as I've known you, you two have been very much in love.
Okay, that explains why that seemed so easy. To fall back in love with this man.
Oh my heart.
If he
Enough.
is, to my recollection, then he is a good and worthy man to do so.
Cullen and Odiana. He tries it out. He's like testing the names and like Cullen and Odiana. Cullen and Odiana.
You had mentioned that they were wearing these collars before. Have they
Mhm.
been doing anything or reacting?
The collars don't seem to be reacting at this point.
Okay. But they seemed to react when they were trying to remember their past, it seemed
Mhm.
like. Okay. Um, okay. Um, uh, uh, maybe,
Do you have
if
a way
you,
out of here?
um, we have some plans what we're working on. Um, people, smarter than me, um, figuring things out. Um, if you are the woman I remember, Oniana, then I'm sure your input and advice would be invaluable if that's an effort you want to bend yourself towards. Um,
What
uh,
did
ma-
I do on the ship?
you were one of the finest uh, craftsperson I've ever seen in all of Eberron. Um, you could rival you in Corvair. Um, you quite talented both in the material and the arcane.
I told you I should be able to do magic. She punches Colin in the shoulder. It's just every time I try, I can't.
Uh, well, perhaps some of the people I'm with could help with that. I have my sister here who is incredibly well trained in the arcane arts. I have a very, very dear friend that is um, equally well trained in the crafts and art, and some very intelligent folk along with them. Um, if you are comfortable, perhaps I could either bring them here, or perhaps we could meet where would be best for you. This seems like your bedroom, so maybe not everybody in here. Um, uh, if that's, would you be?
We can come out.
Do you want me to speak to them first, or do you want to come now, or get your?
Maybe it's you look flustered.
Oh,
Looking at
sorry.
your face. Maybe you should go speak to them. I have to feed our little one, and then as soon as that's done, we'll come out.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. I'll I'll see if I can get everyone together near the ship. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll see you in a bit.
We'll be out in a few minutes. You find it hard to leave them again now that you've seen them. But you do find your self kind of sneaking out sideways, just keeping your eyes on them as long as you can until you get to the other side of the crates.
Yeah.
As you get to the other side of the crates, he seems like such a nice person. Really terrifying. I don't think I'd want him to be my enemy. I feel like he might eat my face, but he seems nice. He does seem rather intimidating, but I mean, the look on his face when he saw me was it's like he knew me. He knows who we are. And finally figure that out. As you continue to sidle around the crates and find your way out of the...
Yeah, when Bruce gets to the edge of where the crates end, kind of stepping outside of it, so the majority of the ship, his knees are gonna buckle a bit, and he grabs onto one of the crates, and he just starts breathing as heavy as just. And he's gonna look up. Does he see Z over there?
Yeah. Z, you have managed to get Kizrael's foot unstuck, and at this point you turn and you kind of see Bruce come out, and you see Bruce fall and catch himself. You hear him breathing heavy, and you turn around and look, and there he is. You're muted.
Support him and be like, you want to talk about it? Or do you want to get everybody together first?
So, the moment Bruce sees Zanim, he sprints across the ship to her. And grabs her by the shoulders and stares directly into her eyes, and he's like, which Zanim are you? Which Bruce am I? Which was I? So was I at your graduation? What's happening? Oh, jeez. Was I there with...
Answer that question. You're Bruce and I'm Zanim. I don't know, Mike. Did he make it to my graduation?
No.
I can tell you didn't make it to my graduation, though.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Are we sure that's where we are? Or what's happening?
All I can tell you is my experiences and what I remember. But things have been really effed up the past couple days, so who knows?
Is Kiz making her way downstairs, or is she waiting upstairs?
Looking down the hole that she made.
She was always attempting to try to get down to you guys.
Okay. So Kiz makes his way downstairs.
In the hole for plot reasons.
You come.
Then he's going to turn and sprint over to her.
Hey,
and
guys,
he's going to pick her up. And again, get very close, looking in her eyes and be like, when was the last time I saw you? After I left after the second adventure.
We met at when we met again to meet up with the professor.
Okay, you didn't see me for 6 years?
Oh, I didn't see anybody for 6 years, to be honest.
Can we, kind of looking back at Z, can we go upstairs?
Yep.
Yeah, look, I know you're in the middle of a thing, and when you're ready, Nix and Julia found something. And we've also found some potential doors. We wanted to talk as a team.
Okay. I was gonna say, Bruce probably walks upstairs still holding Kiss. Just almost absent-mindedly.
like a football carrying it.
Like a child carrying.
Oh, like a football?
Oh, I thought it was more like a child carrying their teddy bear with like just in one arm, just like marching up the stairs, and Kiz has got her arms hanging over his arm.
It's more like he picked her up like this and was looking at her, and then he's like kind of put her down more, like a couple inches further down, and just walks upstairs still holding her like that. So she's like eye level with his chin.
Like, it's like, I know
Not
you need
gonna
some time. I know you need some time. Just let it go.
What's going on?
At some point, whenever
Probably
he realizes it, he's like, "Oh, sorry, down, right?" Put her down.
It's fine.
Down, right?
Yeah, they're over by the molten glass machine.
Okay. When they get out of the ship, Bruce is gonna like it was Colin and Odiana. If they're in the ship, they're okay. They're alive.
Cool.
What do we remember when we witnessed the flashback? Who do we remember dying?
Just the captain, right?
The only one that we remember dying is Captain what's his face.
Okay.
And then we remember Bruce killing
Callista.
Callista?
Calicia,
Mhm.
whatever.
So I remember playing Torth, and the Torth survived.
The battle.
I mean, yeah, just that battle. But we don't understand how that battle mixes with the reality.
Odiana went down, but Colin was rushing to save her, so.
Okay, I won't say it. All right, yes.
Say it.
I always knew Torth was a top. You said she came out on top, so I'm sorry.
I mean, Odiana wasn't the one that went down in my memory, but
Ooh, okay.
I just before the end of the battle, before you killed Callista. Sorry, we're good.
We're done with the innuendo. For now. Go ahead.
Like, okay, you guys emerge from the ship coming down the ladder. I'd say it's probably safe to say that the rest of you guys make it over by the ship at this point.
Oh, okay. I thought we were meeting them over there, so we intersect.
Well,
Nyx wasn't coming down just yet. She was gonna spend some time to sit.
okay. Is there something you'd like to do while you're just spending time and sitting?
Truthfully, she's gonna cry.
Okay.
Before I'm out of a hearing range, or after?
Probably after you're gone. You didn't take any time before climbing down the rope.
So she'll sit there for a few minutes, and then just break down. Like, are we talking like Bruce breakdown or like Nyx's typical breakdown?
Probably more of her typical breakdown.
I don't think anybody who's not a barbarian can get to that level.
Fair.
Challenge accepted. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
There's so much truth and nobody breaks down like Bruce. Oh my goodness.
Poor
I
Bruce.
mean, emotions are how he rolls.
Bruce would probably only make it to like here
Okay.
before just almost like falling down and just like leaning it back against the ship, just breathing heavily. He's going to open his shirt and check to see if he has a aberrant mark.
The aberrant mark is still there.
Is it?
It is.
I'm hiding it.
Oh.
Is it? Oh,
We're having an emotional
no.
breakdown in your bubble. I need you to roll me a concentration check.
Okay. I left the plane, so I don't know.
Just about to mess up Bruce's entire psyche.
Well, I mean, that's true,
I
but
think so.
she did leave the plane. Does that affect things?
No, it doesn't actually.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, no, you're fine. Bruce, you look down. There's no aberrant mark on your chest.
Sorry.
I had forgotten that she'd hit it.
He's probably going to reach and feel for it. I think he said it's an illusion, so he should be able to feel it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he'd probably panic, like reach and just be like grabbing it, and then just like have a moment of
Slow.
like, what? What's it's no, it's here. What the? Oh no, okay, Nyx. Okay.
Still probably wasn't.
You guys might have heard a
Great.
sharp intake of breath.
You put your hand to it, you feel a steady pulse of warmth come from it.
You really like to change temperatures.
Hey,
A
Rex.
feeling of happy and joy seems to emanate from that mark.
It was Francis Collins, Mark.
He kind of looks down at it and he's like, "Don't get your hopes up yet." He just kind of leans back his head against the ship, kind of like looking up and breathing heavily.
Okay.
Z hangs
Everybody-
out with Bruce, trying to like not interfere, not be awkward, let him do what he needs to do, and be like a presence there of support.
Kiz was saying something to me, I think.
I was gonna say, about this time, you guys are kind of walking up. You see Bruce. From a distance, you see Bruce just sit outside the ship and put his head against it. You hear that kind of as he looks down. He opens his shirt and then kind of talks himself through it. It's about the time you're walking up.
Rix is just gonna look to Kiz. He goes, "What happened?"
You said that Odiana and Colin are alive. So we need to get them to safety too, right? Before the Emerald Claw get here?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. They're alive?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
How?
It's really well, it's really messing with Bruce. But
Well, the shipwreck. If the ship.
When they found,
I mean,
they
the
found
ship
him on a
clearly
piece of
was-
driftwood, didn't they?
Or else he was. Or was he the one with driftwood? He just assumed everybody else had died.
Well, I mean, granted, we saw what a portion of what they were capable of. From what it sounded like, I guess Bruce never really talked about it.
Or it's
It always
possible that Bruce touching that crystal actually did affect more than just Bruce.
We don't know.
Like
I
the
mean,
whole space-time continuum.
it could be
somebody
that.
probably-
It could be that. It could be. It just could be a miracle that they're alive. We don't know. But he kind of glances at Bruce and looks at the others. He's like, "Oh, you must be way in his head right now."
Did we find what we needed? Do we need to explore some more doors?
I mean, we could
I
try
mean,
the blue key.
I'm waiting for that giant door to open up and just said the Emerald Claw to walk in.
Yeah. Are you sure it's the front door?
Makes sense to me. Why would you have more facility if you have to get that thing?
But why have the front door open up into here?
Because you need to be able to get that thing out.
Well, I imagine that being more of like a side door, like a storage warehouse. They have the doors on the side and they take the product out, and then there's like an actual.
So we need to find the schema somewhere else.
Well, no, he kind of pauses. He's like, they found
That's not a problem.
there might have been a thing.
Oh, good. Then why don't? Oh, let's get the others and just.
We don't know.
Okay.
Like pointing above his head. We don't know. It's been a while since we've heard from all of them. And he kind of pauses. He's like, I haven't heard from Nightingale or the Citadel since we first got here.
Like the more Lance messing with things. Remember how we got all the messages at once?
It's possible. I mean, that was just crazy coincidence that everyone decided to just peek in on us at the same time.
Well, I mean, it's possible the Moorland kind of creates this kind of like this interference, and that it's really just really hard to get enough of a magical connection that when you get them all at once, like like messages that have been backed up.
Well,
Yeah.
it was dawn. A lot of spells reset at dawn. Well, yeah.
And we are in a... We don't know what sort of protections that Kenneth put in here. Apparently not enough to keep someone like Broto out, but... They've set up enough to keep others in.
We haven't seen Brochmore in a while either.
Yeah, it's a little concerning. I really hope that
He's okay.
no
I mean,
matter...
relatively.
Alright, do we just give Bruce some time and... I mean, what... Jalera said there was another larger piece. Much larger.
Like tomato, Diana, I can.
Well, we're going to, because we need to get him out of here.
Can't leave
Why
him
don't we
here.
tell them that we're ready to go? If we go, we can for.
I don't know. I mean, Bruce is the one who talked to them. So I guess we have to wait for either them to join us, if they are, or Bruce to let us know what's going on. Sorry.
How quiet are you guys being about your conversation?
Very quiet.
Okay.
I feel like we're speaking in hushed tones. Trying
Okay.
not to...
I keep
We
trying
don't want to
catch them.
overwhelm Bruce, but we also don't want to be like, "Hey, we found this thing" to the universe.
Yeah. But, you know, mum's the word for now. What are we going to call it? Do we want to call it a pineapple? Banana? We found a banana tree.
Well, we found a banana and a banana tree.
He kind of smiles as you say banana. Like he does. He's like... He kind of just...
You guys learn to
doesn't
speak.
pat you on the head,
Accent.
but he kind of like just pats you on the shoulder. Sorry. Would it help if I chose something a little less upper-shan and more normal like this?
I want you to do what you're comfortable with.
I don't know. I'm still figuring that out. Sorry, but the person you're trying to reach is not in this dimension. Please check the status and try again. Okay. So Rickson will look at Jilly and is like, where's Nyx?
Yeah, she's back there. I don't know why she didn't come with. I was thinking about sending Fixer to go find her.
I'll go check in on her.
her.
Just see how she's doing. And I'll be right back. So he's going to head back to look for his sister. With Fixer, I'm guessing, perched on his shoulder.
Would she have enough time to have composed herself again?
How much time would she have spent doing what she did?
I don't know.
Would Rix be able to tell
Roll
when
me
his
a
sister's
D20.
eyes were bloodshot from crying?
We'll just say whatever you roll on the d20 is how many minutes you spent crying.
A
12
D20.
minutes.
You serious?
You're the one who told me you broke down. Just, you know, do you want to half that?
No.
Like, you can be finishing up by the time he comes back up, if that's what you would prefer, or it's, I don't know. Do you want Rix to catch you crying?
I'll let it be. That's
Okay.
good. I don't know. You could probably you probably will see
You can
her
probably
still
tell when
crying
she's
then.
been crying. Right, Rix peeks his head up, because she's still in the rope trick, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
He peeks his head up and he's like, kind of climbs in. He's, hey.
Sorry. Yeah.
Don't apologize. He comes and he takes a seat next to her. You seem off lately. And by lately, I mean more than just here, but yeah, I don't know, you just seemed... like something's bothering you.
It doesn't matter. The feelings, they don't matter.
He looks
They'll
at you, he's
go
like,
away.
yes, they do.
I don't. I have no place.
What makes you think that you don't have a right to feel what you're feeling?
I'm a tool.
He reaches up and kind of brushes her hair away, and he's kind of like, and she said, "I'm a tool," right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, he's like, "Do you really think that?"
I'm a piece of the game or something or another. I'm not.
Can I talk to my sister for a moment? Because you're still in the Kenneth face, so.
Nah, she changed.
She's changed now.
Yeah, she's actually in her true form.
And he looks at her, he's like, okay. He's like, you've had people telling you and treating you like a tool. You aren't what they want you to be. Unless you want to be that. You have a choice. And
I'm just being selfish and childish right now, okay? There isn't a place for it right now. Bruce needs more help. And
what do you think you're being selfish about?
It's gonna leave us again. Forget about us. Gonna have nowhere to go again. I'm not. Just disappear. Not exist. I don't know. It's just the realization of what Kiz said. Perhaps I'm being too tough on everything, but
I think, and this is just what I'm thinking. Whatever Bruce felt, it was what he felt in the moment. In that moment.
I know, and I'm not blaming him for that.
No, but I think...
It's just...
I don't think it's fair to assume that he's going to leave us for them now that they're here. It was Odiana, by the way. Apparently Odiana and Colin are here.
That's good.
And he's like,
Maybe they will.
It doesn't mean he's going to leave us.
Maybe. I'm just being selfish.
You're being scared. It's not being selfish, it's just... you care about him. And despite the fact that we have been constantly on the run, you nearly went insane, we've all had some near-death experiences, and everything else. Perhaps we've been a bit spoiled to have him for as long as we have.
Yeah.
The same could be said for Kiz. She was gone for a long time. same could be said for you. I'm not going to profess to know any answers, and I'm not going to tell you how we can fix it, because I don't know what Bruce is going to ultimately choose. But I know that we've gone our separate ways, but we've always found a way back to each other. He takes her hand. He's like, we've always found a way back to each other. And the goodbyes are hard. And if we ever have to say goodbye again in the near future, it's going to be even harder. But we'll come back.
I know,
So-
I'm just being stupid.
No, you're not being stupid. You're just... You love him.
It's just stupid. It's problematic. It's not allowed.
Who says it's not allowed? Your handler? Pipes? Or you?
But everyone. But family. I'm just screwed up. Sorry.
No. I mean, from an outside party looking in, I don't think you're as screwed up as you think you are. As someone who beats himself up about it pretty regularly about things he's done, I think sometimes it's okay to give yourself a little bit of a break. We have the rest of our lives to feel guilty. We shouldn't have to feel it all the time. You should be able to laugh. You should be able to love. You should be able to dance, sing, do cartwheels, climb on walls, punch people in the face if they make you angry. Get drunk. It's your choice. It's your life. You shouldn't always have to live it by some what you perceive as someone else's rules, or how other people think it is. And I know that it's easy to get caught up in it. I've spent most of my life being what I thought others wanted me to be. And it is not healthy, because you end up at my age figuring out that you like having hair that's shaved on the sides, and you really don't like pineapple on pizza. And
Yeah.
you start thinking about people you've met and that you care about, and you have to start reasserting how you feel about them and what those emotions are, what they mean to you. You know you're the more mature one of us, right?
Only some days.
Most of the time, let's be real. I put myself into a position of maturity out of immaturity.
Well, you
Just-
better get back before people wonder.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
if he does go, who's to say that you're not allowed to follow him? I mean, he did offer you a space on his ship at some point, didn't he? And he hasn't rescinded that offer.
He kinda did.
When?
The time when you were talking, well, maybe we both could go. He's like, well, there's other options. Because
I think he's only happy with one of us there. Too many of us gets in the way.
No. I think it's because he's not planning to go back. He wasn't planning to go back to the ship.
You can't keep him
But-
away from the ocean.
Why?
Just if we manage to survive all of this, when it's all over. I mean, I might need your help with some things, but I don't know. Maybe ocean life is a life for you as well. Okay? Future's open book. Don't shut doors just because you think that nobody wants you there. Gives her hand a squeeze.
You would hug him a bit.
It's like,
Alright.
yeah, he's
Better.
a bit thick when it comes to people feeling things for him, I think.
I'm kind of grateful. Alright.
I guess that works for now.
We should get going. I'll change.
Okay, so he waits for her and lands down.
Okay. So while that conversation was happening on the other side of the area, over by the ship, Bruce, have you regained a semblance of functioning cognitively, or are you still kind of like not sure what? It's still too unreal for you at the moment.
I think Bruce probably would be sitting there like breathing, and if he noticed everyone coming around, he would like look and realize that they're missing people still, and be like, if we can get everyone, together, Colin and Oriana are on board. I think they'd like to meet people. They seem like they've been here a little while. They don't seem to have many memories. They're wearing these things on their neck that I don't know. It seemed like it was, I don't know if it was preventing or restraining or something. It seemed like it was keeping them from maybe remembering or something. But they seem nice. Uh, um, so, yeah, if we can get everyone together, they said they'd be out, as soon as Zodiana finishes feeding the baby. At which point, Bruce just breaks down sobbing.
Had he mentioned the baby before? Did any of us know there was a baby?
Up to this point, we didn't know there was a physical baby here, but we know that Odiana had been pregnant before.
In
Okay.
his alternate memory.
Yeah.
So Bruce just breaks down sobbing. Like, he's already, like, sitting down, he brings his hands up, and he's just sobbing into his hands.
2 more people and a baby. That should be fine.
But I don't. They might not be up for being dragged around all like Earth, but if they're safe enough here, we'll come back to them.
No, giant garage door, not safe.
Okay, then we'll take them back to the library. Actually, she would have said, "We'll take them back to the forge." I mean, library.
Yes, the forge. The library. The library is safe. There's a forge nearby, but the library is where we are
Do you think the
intending
forge
to go.
would let you take the collars off?
I'd like to look at them at least. I mean, maybe a
Well,
little
yeah,
bit of.
we would definitely need to examine them and figure out what kind of magic is in them before we can undo or whatever it is to get them off. But you think they'll remember Bruce once the collars are off? That should be interesting.
I feel like
Yeah, hopefully. We need to know who put them on and how they ended up here.
I don't know. Crazy things are happening.
You guys hear from above you where a ladder is on the other side of the ship, a ladder is coming down. You hear a, he said they're not all there yet. Wait. No, I want to go down the ladder. Wait until he says they're all there.
He's not really feeling up to talking. He's so excited to see you that he can't stop crying. Come on down. Everybody will be here eventually.
See? She said we can go down. I'm going down.
Nice.
Z would walk over and, hi, I'm Zanine.
They kind of come down the ladder.
If Bruce
Woman
hears
comes-
them, he's
the
gonna
woman
like.
comes down the ladder. She's got this kind of greenish sash kind of wrapping around one shoulder, all the way around her. She's got a little bundle right up here on her chest. And it's like,
Oh, she figured out baby wearing. It's so much fun.
baby wearing? Oh, I call him my Barnacle.
Cute.
That works so well.
Well,
Bruce,
sure.
if he hears them,
I mean,
gets
just a
up,
little
like
barnacle
wipes
on
his
your
eyes
chest
off,
looks perfect
and
to
backs
me.
away.
What? Oh,
Too bad.
come back.
Too bad. Too bad. Okay, here we go. Now I should be able to manipulate everything on top of it. Okay.
Can I ask how I'm doing?
What?
Can I ask how I'm doing?
What do you mean?
You or Cherry?
I would like to know how Cherry's doing.
She's fine.
You could roll for both.
I don't understand. Why wouldn't she be fine? I mean, considering circumstance.
I think she's worried about it triggering memories that had been
Oh.
implanted in her.
It's true. She's very conflicted about Odiana's existence.
Nothing seems to happen when they come down out of the ship. This Odiana does not look like the same Odiana you've seen. This Odiana has definitely seen some wear and tear. She's her hands and arms are far more scarred than the normal somebody working at a forge would get. Colin looks really, he's got a scarred face. His tattered clothing covers up most of it, but whatever bits of flesh you can see are scarred as well.
Like burn scars or
Burn scar, like there's definitely some notice of burn scars, as if he'd been shot with a lightning bolt at some point.
Lightning, huh?
That sounds like Callisto's boat.
He kind of looks at the group. I'm apparently Colin. She's mostly been referring to me as Feral because of the look of my face. So I suppose you could call me Colin or Feral, whichever you prefer.
Which do you prefer?
I'm taking away that point of inspiration for that, Mike.
You should.
When did Jared start getting inspiration like abilities?
Ours. Who knows? Who
I
knows?
don't know. He's the only one that ever gets inspiration, so maybe that's fine.
Hey,
That's what I
I
was
worked
thinking.
hard for my inspiration point.
And I'm apparently Sasha or Odiana, Sasha, Odiana, whichever.
Hi, we do know that the Emerald Claw is going to be here in the next day. We do have some locations that we think you'd be safe. We think we've found what we were looking for. Do we still need to confront the Emerald Claw? You know, look at
And
Rick.
why is the Emerald Claw coming here?
They want to learn stuff. Like how to make doomsday devices.
Were you the one?
I'm sorry, what?
The dragon there, back there.
Are you putting it together or taking it apart?
I haven't touched it. I've been working on the boat over here.
Mid-side check.
Alright.
Insight check, go for it.
How has there been anyone else here?
How did you get here?
Rix just kind of steps forward. He's like, "The colors? Did you wake up with them, or?"
Hold on. Kisra, with your insight check, the Odiana saying that she hasn't touched it, she definitely got a little shifty with her eyes.
I assumed
and-
she was taking the pieces from that, but I guess there's plenty of wood over here.
Most of the repair work on the boat has been wood.
She was
Yeah,
good
but
at
I
some molten
see-
glass, though.
Mm-hmm.
But the dragon
You
looked like
do
it was made
see-
out of a lot of wood.
Sorry, let's.
No, the dragon is not made out of wood. The dragon is made out of metal.
Oh.
So,
So from the shiftiness, I'm gonna guess that she's a little bit like Jalira, and she's gotta get to know.
Wonder her and Jalira got along so well.
I try not to mess too much over there. I grab glass for some of the things over here once in a while. Just small things. I don't always remember what they're for. It's very frustrating.
Do you have a
Like
market
that over
making?
there, and she turns around and makes a squeaking sound and runs over to the forge and starts looking for like tongs and metal because she realizes she had left pieces of metal in the forge and that they are currently overheating. And with that, we're going to take a break. And welcome back. We're back at the boat. The two figures have emerged, one of which is flying towards the forge to take out the bits of metal that she had left in there. At which point, Farrell or Colin, however you want to refer to him, goes, "Hun, baby," and she's like she's like got a glove on her hand. And she's reaching in, turns around, takes the back, takes the baby off of her chest, gives it to the man, and then runs back over the things, messing with things.
They're adorable. Let's keep them.
He looks down. He looks down at the child, cradle in his arms. Just, we'll get through this.
Can I look at your collar?
Collar. Yeah, you looks at Rix, and then Rix kind of.
Oh, he doesn't cover it up because he doesn't necessarily immediately react. He says "you," and he goes,
Yeah, Colin looks at him, and then kind of taken aback for a second.
"Oh,
Um,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
you were asking about. Do you both want to? He said that you guys were that you had amongst you those who were talented in magic.
Would be me and her, pointing to Jalira.
Nudge, like elbow it or playfully. Collar?
Okay, so,
Next would
basically kind of, as she passes Bruce, she would kind of give him a pat on the shoulder, like a reassuring pat grip kind of thing. And then kind of go forward.
Yeah, Bruce is just standing there, like, looking somewhere between incredibly anxious and timid, as he's just watching with really wide eyes. And actually, like, when Odiana, like, moved to run to the forge, he actually, like, almost started forward, his hand reached out until she put the baby in Colin's hands, and then he relaxed and calmed down.
Holding the child, he lets whoever's going to look at his collar kind of approach him without.
Oh my gosh.
Really slowly.
Okay. So how are you inspecting it?
I mean,
Identify.
So Zanim just starts throwing out. Do you hard cast or ritual cast?
I ritual cast, but I would say something first. I would be like, okay, don't be weirded out that I have to do a ritual to identify your collar and what
You
it is
can't
and what
hear
it
for
does
10
so I can
minutes.
best figure out how to take it off. So this will take about 10 minutes. Just like you and the baby hold still, don't worry about it. It's all good.
Don't you have to
And-
touch it the entire 10 minutes?
You do have to touch the object.
You're just sitting there holding onto the collar for 10 minutes.
Just like, don't worry about it. I just gotta touch it for a little while. But, and then, I start, chanting and doing the thing, whatever the thing is.
I will try and see what I can ascertain from just looking at it. But if I can't find
Okay.
out much, I might just start playing with the baby.
I'd also like to
So-
look at the collar, see if
do
I
we want to
recognize
show-
any of it.
So I need investigation checks from Jalira, an investigation check from, or are you better at investigation or history? Nix.
History.
History. Roll a history check for me then.
Well, especially if she was in slave trade, that might be interesting.
Okay.
Just do we want to show Bruce what we found while they're doing that?
But the thing?
Well, no, the thing, the heavy thing.
Everything? The thing?
I thought you said was like.
Do you know what a manhole cover is? They had some of those in Sharn. Especially in the lower sections.
Yeah. Just a really heavy
It's pretty much.
sewer grate.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you think Bruce can
Just-
get it?
Mid investigation, you kind of like break off and you find yourself distracted by the question Kizriel's asking you.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish up.
At first glance, Z, you don't seem to. It looks like a normal collar to you, but as you place your hand on it, there's something arcane about it. Like you can kind of like that kind of aura of a magic feel as you get close to it and touch it. So you begin your still really hold still 10 minutes. Just begin your chant, Jalira, as you touch it and feel it and look at it. You do begin to notice that ever so lightly engraved on it, there are sigils. Sigils that represent enchantment magic. Nyx. Under the history category, these collars, they're pre-morning. But other than that, knowing them, you've seen the remains of them before. You've never actually held one in your hand. But these collars hurt people if they're removed without care. Like, kill people if they're removed without care. The ones that you've seen have been on people who tried to have them removed or people who had tried to remove them. They come They come out of Karnath.
Classy Karnath.
Carnathian. They're old. They are from before the morning. Nasty what things.
I mean,
We'll have to
Karnath
be
had,
careful. Maybe the Emerald Claw coming could help us with that.
what, you want to just ask them nicely?
No, I wanted to kill them and take all their stuff.
I'm on board with that idea.
All right.
After
I'm
killing the
sorry.
leader and anybody crazy and leaving anybody here.
But it does look like they're older, pre-morning, and you have to be very careful. If you have to be very careful with it. Tampering can cause problems.
Alcohol, Farrell?
You hear a squeak from Bruce.
Do you remember how you got these?
How
No,
you got here?
we woke up with them on.
You woke up here?
Yeah.
Have you seen anyone?
No. We woke up and the only thing we've been able to focus on really is repairing this boat.
Of all places. For you to appear and for us to.
Have you seen any warforges?
No.
Do you have a mark of making?
Who do you ask that?
Oriana?
Treasure. No, why?
Well, the only reason the glass monsters seem to not attack is because. Did you put your old woman face back on?
Yep.
Okay, it's because we have her with us.
Oh, you have one of the house with you. That's that, and like she says that, like you see this surge of like angry emotion cross her face, and then you see it almost kind of as if
Yes.
she was
Not
like
really.
a memory was coming through, and then it just kind of blinks with the you're part of the house, are you? And then just that's nice.
Not
Um,
really.
Not really. It's like me. I have the mark, but I've never met the house.
She just kind of goes back to fidgeting with all of her stuff here, trying to figure out what's what, where she left what in what condition.
Fixer looks like he wants to try and help.
She starts like using him as like a third hand, like hand. she's like he lands. She looks at him, just oh, you're cute. Hands him stuff like hold this, take this there, move that there. Pulls out a long, thin piece of wire that was heating up in there, and she just starts, flattening, like cutting it into little, like 1.5 inch long pieces, 2 inches. Applying a dye to the warm ends. Like, she's essentially making nails and screws. Like at this point, you kind of get the feeling that that's what she's working on. As you've kind of like stopped investigating the collar, giving Z a chance to finish out what she's doing. Moving from that point, you kind of see that she's working on stuff to work on the ship. Bruce, that squeak that you let out when collars were mentioned. Does anybody hear that squeak? How loud is that squeak?
Rex
Well,
probably
we know
heard
he
it.
had a slave background, so
Which I don't think I knew.
I wasn't
Jerry's
thinking about it.
I'm focused now. No.
I think Rick's probably heard it. I don't know if
You've got a good passive, I'm assuming.
17.
It wasn't quiet.
No.
Okay, so with
Z's
that,
focused.
Z's focus. Is there any conversation that would like to revolve around that squeak?
Fixer kind of come up and she'd be like, "It's all right. We'll figure this out."
It's like staring, and he looks so nervous. A lot, and just breathing heavily, and just so nervous.
You have the best on it. Bruce.
Okay. Israel, what are you doing?
I was trying to talk Bruce into lifting a heavy thing, but then Jalira said, "Don't worry about it." So I'm ready to just pack up what they need and head inside. But hey, do you have any tools there that can grind silver? I guess.
She points. Midway pointing, she points and looks at Fixer and whispers some things to her, and Fixer flies over and starts gathering for you to grind up stuff.
Because I realized I shouldn't have been able to cast Protection from Good and Evil earlier.
All good, no worries.
But if I powder up the silver now, I can say she has the material component.
Rix.
Rix is
You don't touch dragon
kind of
shards.
just stepped aside to himself, trying to make sure that they don't see him. He hasn't covered up his face though, but he's just trying to make himself less visible to set them off. And he's just, letting the people work, do their job. Kiz is grinding silver. Their conversation. Yeah, Rix is just going to probably.
If we know, did we ask Odion if she's the one that set the alarms?
He was going to ask about that. He's just trying to figure out a good way to do it. But she looks distracted enough that he's going to move closer and hope that she doesn't freak out when she sees him. And so he's going to move over kind of this way and be like, excuse me, sorry. And then he's like, so were you the one who set up the alarms on the doors?
Oh no, that was him.
Ah. Okay. What were you trying to keep out? Or
We
just, I
wanted
guess,
a way to know if something came through.
do you know where the doors lead? Or?
No, we saw the gems on the door in the one area, and that door leads upstairs to a dark cavern where there's a giant rock with a gem in it as well. We haven't been able to make them move or budge.
Do you remember what color the gem was upstairs?
Farrell, what was Colin? Sorry, Colin Farrell. Whatever.
Colin Farrell.
What color was the gem upstairs? Blue. It was blue.
Okay. And he's kind of thinking to himself. He's like, "All right. Thank you. Letting me know." He's kind of thinking to himself because blue is like entry level, right? That's like bottom rung, kind of thing. Okay. So it's likely that is probably the front door.
It's a good guess for you to get to.
Okay. Good hunch, Kiz. At least good assumption. And he's gonna be like, okay, and he's going to make his way, kind of like, excuse me, sorry, pardon me, coming through, sorry, as he's moving through, making a conscious effort to fight the urge to try to cover his face.
Baby does not see you.
Okay. And he kind of moves over here. He's going to head up to kind of look at the Just to explore a little bit. That's it. Kind of look around. And that's it.
Okay.
While they work.
You hear the barest hint of a whisper. Over here.
From where?
From the giant dragon head.
He's like, Mother bloody pearl, if it is her. Do I recognize the voice?
Yes, it's...
Allie?
No, it's not.
Okay. What do I recognize the voice from?
The traveler.
He's like, you're not going to have me activate this thing, are you? We're not going to start the end of the world, right? 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 Please. Please, tell me we're not doing this.
No answer.
Us.
You know...
He just likes messing with you.
It's like, you need me. I want to remind you. You need me.
Oh, thank you for that.
No problem. So he's going to go over here and take a look up at it. He's like, is this being taken apart, put together?
Well, recollection from your notes that you found in the back of the statue downstairs in the library
Yeah.
suggests that it was being disassembled.
Okay. So he's like, I wonder...
I can confirm that now that that's a handout
Thank you.
and a legit thing.
Thank you. He's like, I guess it did its work. If it is the thing that's responsible for the morning, at least. He's just kind of looking at it. It's like this massive form. I wonder if there was anyone along the way that actually stopped and thought, maybe this is a bad idea. Is there any reason you're calling me over here?
Silence pervades.
Bloody hell, come on. If he wants to climb into this, he'd have to do it from the top.
Yeah, he'd have to go up to the catwalk on the far side and climb over on this structural strut that's holding it up.
Okay. And he's kind of glancing over at the chest as well, because he's curious about the big piece. He's like, I'm going to start moving. We're going to play hot and cold. And if you don't respond, screw you. And he's going to start moving toward the chest.
Brrr.
Good today, you have a sense of humor. All right, so he needs to go up that staircase, right? Okay. And this is being held aloft?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess, well, he'll go there. Just go straight there and start climbing
He
up.
begins ascent the stairs and ascending over to the... As you get closer to going up the stairs, you hear the distinct sound of sizzling bacon. And you kind of almost smell it for a second.
What are you getting at?
It's hot.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we caught that. Thank you.
Meanwhile, back over on the other side, while you're up there exploring, Zanim, your identify goes off.
By the way, earlier, did you catch Nick's reassuring bruise?
I did.
Okay.
Did
Just
you guys
checking.
want to talk further into that?
I don't know.
Bruce doesn't look very talkative. He'd kind of glance at her, and then he's kind of staring at everything that's happening.
Okay. And she just stand there, kind of like trying to be reassuring.
Okay. Zanine, that's what you find.
Oh.
Z would be like, yeah, we're not removing those until we have the key.
I don't suppose they have a gem on them.
No, they do not have a gem.
Oh, maybe. Or
They do have a lock mechanism at the back, which is where one would infer a key would go.
Ruse
Okay, Z
uselessly
would
looks around the
explain.
immediate area for a key.
Z would explain what she found after telling Colin. She'd be like, hey, Odiana, did you hear that?
Oh yes.
Well, okay, we will
we
find
haven't
this
tried to
key.
take them off. Every time we think about taking them off, we just kind of leave them on.
probably is on purpose. Specifically designed to do that to you. All right.
Somehow we'll find this key and we'll free you. But for now, we're going to leave them on just, so we don't accidentally blow you up.
This is just
But the
uncool.
question-
Not only do they take away your freedom, they take away who you are.
Yes, they make the wearer forget who and how powerful they are. So the very goal is to make Colin and Odiana forget who and how powerful they are.
I vote we blame. Oh wait,
It's not Kenneth. We can't blame Kenneth this time.
Arnett.
Probably Cornath. Man, we'll blame Kenneth. I know what the statutes.
Z's looking at it and everyone's investigation. Do they think it's something that could potentially be picked or dispelled, or any attempts outside of the key will auto set it off?
Any attempt outside of the key, anyone not using the accompanying key, the collar unleashes a spell. So, we're not going to mess with it. I don't want to blow your friends' heads off.
That was out of character. I was asking. Bruce is not asking a question.
Here's the keyhole. You could potentially pick it. But from what Z has picked up from her identification spell, I mean, Z, roll me an Arcana check.
I mean, any attempt probably has some anti-tampering.
Yeah, but what if you've got a really good lockpicker and some really good magic?
There's always the potential chance to dispel it. The chance exists.
But if an attempt was made to dispel it, could it trigger it?
Does it just hurt them or does it kill them?
That's a 5th level, man. Oof.
Because if it just hurts them, it should be there.
Person, it depends on the. I'm sure it would be a die roll to figure out whether or not they die or not.
Well, I mean, they can't
die roll, die.
That's true.
That choice is taken away from.
At 5th level, that is doing 7d10 worth of necrotic damage to them.
Okay. Ouch. I don't think spare the die works on necrotic damage.
It's not. All right.
When last you guys remember in the dream, for what it's worth, you guys know that they were all 3rd level.
Not a super lot of hit points.
It's unsure to know if with a thought. Sorry, I'm answering the chat question. Unsure to
I'm not
know
there.
if
You don't
their
have to
personality.
answer. That's just an out of character question. Sorry.
Gotcha. No worries.
Don't answer until they ask it. I'm not there.
That's right. You're not. True story.
Would
Okay.
would I know of what the key would look like? General idea of anything like that?
Your best guess is it looks like other key, like the way the shape of the lock is. It's got a pretty unique pattern. If you saw that pattern in a key, you could probably identify that pattern in a key if given the opportunity.
Do both collars look like they have the same key?
Nobody's checked Odiana's collar.
Yeah. Yeah. Gonna come. She's like, all right. See. She
Is
will go.
Oriana still working with all the hot chemically stuff?
Yes, she is.
Mad scientist over
As
there.
you guys watch, like, Colin turns to Jalira, who stares. Would you mind holding?
Oh, he just you
I
already.
really should get back to work.
What?
And like he carefully hands Jalira the baby. I'm letting the fuzzy one hold the baby. That's fine. He's not by the forge. It's even better. Ting 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 ting. And Colin comes over here and begins at the wood that's laid out.
Do you mind if I look at your collar real quick?
Sure, go ahead. She stops what she's doing.
She'll
Bruce,
take.
roll me a Arcana check.
Me?
You.
Sure. Arcana. 8.
And then roll me an insight check too.
Sure.
Those are great for you, right?
He doesn't have a negative modifier. You crazy?
About as good as Rix's perception checks.
Well, that's fair.
So it should be good, but
No, he's gonna roll better than my perception checks.
I rolled an 18, so I got 17.
Told you he's gonna roll better than my perception checks. With my whole +7 modifier, I can't even get that with a +7.
You would think two people who would probably want to get out of here would not continue doing what they're doing. There's an emphasis on needing to finish repairing the ship. Odiana is working. It's almost as if she might be compelled to do so. Like Colin had this look of relief when he could set down the baby into somebody's arms and go forth and actually start working on the ship again.
Bruce being very familiar with being compelled by magic to do things.
Do I notice the keyhole looking the same kind of? It would probably
The
be the
keyhole
same
shape
key.
is different.
Of course. Frick.
Bruce is going to walk over to the Neem and just quietly... Does it seem odd that they would pass off their newborn?
To a near stranger.
Thank you. And she pat Odiana.
If you said
Maybe?
something, we didn't hear it.
I said, I don't know, maybe?
It almost seems like they're
Zaneem, can you roll that one with advantage? Because
Because he's pointing something out. Yeah.
something that might be your specialty. I mean,
Oh,
nope.
Oh my god.
No, people just do the things that he wants them to do all the time. Why is
I mean, no, but
I
if
love
you
the
want,
dice,
I can
especially when I try to help.
identify one of them and do the spell on the person. That would let me know if there are any other enchantments on them. From what I know about the collar, would the collar be able to compel them to do this kind of thing? Or does it just make them like forget who they are?
it does say it's laced with powerful enchantment magic.
I mean, if it is a slave collar, it makes a sort of sense if it can motivate them to do slavey things.
I like to think that Z's knowledge of magic would outweigh her knowledge of people and babies. But the insight checks aren't agreeing with that.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
And when they taketh away, boy, do they taketh
Bruce
away.
is an unreliable source right now, and Z's just like whatever.
Maybe they think if they finish the ship, it's the fastest way out.
It just seems like they just seems weird that in the middle of trying to help them, they would just, keep working.
It does seem like they are being compelled.
By whom? I want to know by whom.
I mean, somebody put that collar on them. They didn't do it themselves.
Yes, and I'm going to and they're two different keys that are specific, so we'll have to
Do the
find.
collars themselves look the same? Like it's the same kind of collar? Or like are they totally different? More than just two separate keys?
Colin's collar is looked mainly composed of iron, whereas Odiana's collar looks composed of copper.
It's a okay. Check like with her looking over at that one. Would she notice it's a different collar? Like, is
How
it a?
familiar are you with metal?
Oh, not that. Meaning, like, would she recognize it as a different type of collar, or is the same type, just different metals?
Looking at it, it's as old as the other one. Taking a minute to glance over there, it's a very similar design. You've never seen one made from copper before.
What are you lying about, Bruce?
Bruce is trying as hard as he can to not stare at that baby and show how desperately he wants to go over and spend time with
Tell
him.
it. Tell it you. That's my.
Your passive perception is nowhere near that good.
No, I said passive insight. It's more. No, it's the same. No. Yeah, you should be proficient in that.
You're like, baby. Like, part of you wants to look up at the craft because you hear crafting noises. Part of you is also like, baby. Rick, climb to the top.
Yes.
You're moving over. You get on top of this construct at the top.
Oh, I'm actually like right here now.
You see, you're about halfway across the little strut going out to it.
Right.
You see what looks like a chair and a console. Like the chair has been worked into it. There's a console there.
Traveler said you need to be the one to kill that guy. You didn't say how.
You keep getting closer. You find
Sorry,
yourself
didn't say
looking closer. You see sigils on the floor around the chair. Levers, pulleys, systems in front of you, couple of buttons. You noticed a diamond-shaped indentation in the very center of the console.
Oh no. He doesn't know that. He hasn't seen it yet. He just heard about him.
No, he hasn't.
He's like, huh. What are you getting at? I mean, like, we're on a time crunch here. I mean, I would really appreciate if you just, like, were straight with me with this. Rex has just no time for the traveler's gaze right now. He's so tired. He's like, come on. Out with it.
Obviously, something can go there.
Are you trying to get me to activate this thing?
No. I'm not. But this isn't what caused the morning.
It's not?
No.
Did she cause it?
Get a vague.
Okay.
4-year-old.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily. So something kind of with her involved, but she's not directly involved with it.
Potentially.
God, I can see why not many people worship you. All right. This thing. Someone could potentially use it.
Yes.
And you're implying that we should be the ones to use it.
No. Maybe? That's up to you guys.
You brought me over here for a reason. Is it just offering me options? Wait by the door. Yeah, pop in. Take out most of them. Oh. It's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Is this thing going to be locked to
You
something
almost
in
feel this
Canada?
kind of calming, this kind of gentle, very light. You almost think you didn't feel it, but you feel almost like this gentle pat on your shoulder.
He's like, okay, I get it now. I mean, see why some people might turn to you. It's pretty clever. Now I have to convince the others. Oh. Can I ascertain anything? Like, does it look like someone has to just have that part in there, or is it like going to be something that requires someone with a particular mark?
Roll me an investigation check.
Investigation. Oh, I'm not great at those, even with Yep, that sounds about right.
Looks complicated. You might want to have somebody who might better understand it. You do see that there are bits and pieces that have been unplugged and pulled out. There are holes in the console as if something would run to it that's not there.
Like a big steering wheel?
Whatever's here is it's your best guess is that's probably what the levers did. But there's no you see no way of propulsion. In Zanim's dream, where she saw it, it was suspended between two airships.
Okay.
Why make it a dragon if you're not going to make it fly?
I know, right? What a waste. Kenneth. All right, he's going to climb back out.
We have the wings.
Ah.
Sorry, I'm good.
No, you're good.
Oh, boy.
And he's going to make his way back down to everyone else. And particularly looking forward to grab Cherry.
I'm bouncing the baby, just walking around.
Yeah.
And I just want to walk over and say, "Hey, what else is here?"
I'm from the forge with the baby.
I'm distant still.
Colin walks over. He says, "Look at the circle on the ground," and you see that there is just this kind of very lightly etched circle in the ground. No baby beyond that point.
There is another squeak from Bruise as she steps closer.
Oh man. Rex comes over. He's like, Jalera, could you
Well,
possibly
what else?
hand the child off briefly? I need to borrow you for a minute.
Okay, I just was wondering what else they might have found. Here, who wants to hold him?
I need initiative checks from Zanim, Nix, and Bruce.
Bruce is not
like,
going to take
Bruce-
that child unless it's basically handed to him. He is just staring.
Shove the baby at Bruce. Here, Bruce.
Okay, next.
So go ahead and roll me your
Closest to
initiative
me.
check at disadvantage.
I don't know if he could
So
really
it's a straight.
beat
It's just a
Nick.
straight roll for him.
That is a straight roll for him, isn't it? Yep, that's perfect. That is perfect.
Next,
Like, there's this moment, who wants to take the baby, and you're just like, nope, must hide, need to hold baby.
Must not
Nick,
hold child.
you were the first one to like, kind of like, put your hands out, just like,
Okay. Like, I haven't.
I can also hold him. I can still hold him at that age.
Zanim,
You're not
did you
there,
roll
are
me
you?
an insight check?
She's over on the other side.
Yeah, I'm probably done powderizing
And
silver.
Zanim,
but
roll me an insight check.
we should have had to powderize some gold. If you hand it to me, I'll give powderize it, I guess.
You've heard the squeak, and you've seen Bruce. Like you kind of out of the corner of your eye, you saw Bruce like get ready to move, but you were like, "Oh, baby." Nix is happily holding this baby. Nix, what is your reaction to holding a baby?
Like, it's a baby. I'm holding a baby. What the heck am I doing holding a baby?
Like you
Yeah, that
reached
sounds
out, you
about
offered your
right.
hands out, and now you're
idea.
just like,
This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. Literally, that's what's going on in her brain. Like, I want to hold this baby so bad. At the same time, this is a horrible idea. Why am I holding this?
Oh, nice.
"Can you roll me another deception check?" Z, Bruce, I need you to roll me insight checks.
Internal panic.
I'm just going to give myself disadvantage on this one.
Perfect.
He's like, she got to the baby first.
Nobody seems to notice that you, on the inside, you're complete.
She's screaming.
Kiz, I need you to roll me an insight check for Guara.
Passively, Rix is like, oh wow, Nix is holding a baby. Huh. Oh well.
Fire.
Hope she'll be alright. Hope the baby will be alright.
Guara comes over to Nix and begins gently nudging her back towards a barrel or a crate so she can sit down.
She's like, oh, okay. Yeah, Yeah.
She usually only gets.
Guara
Guara
held
senses the fear.
she's like, I haven't held a baby since Jalira.
No.
Oh.
Like, Bruce, she would like, Bruce, do you want to see? Is it a boy or girl? Do we know?
We have no idea.
You want to see it?
We have no idea if it's a boy or a girl.
Brianna has referred to him as he.
Do you want to see him? I imagine you do.
I'm going to roll a wisdom saving throw for Bruce.
That's fair.
Bruce just kind of looks and he steps a little bit closer, but is keeping like a distance and is just kind of watching.
A little bit of that deceptive facade that you've kind of held on to is it's come down some because you're showing some interest in looking at this baby, but you're also holding yourself back, keeping yourself from jumping forward and just cuddling the heck out of it. Okay, Kizriel, you begin grinding down the bits of silver that you have into silver dust.
And Jalira asked me to get some powdered
Yeah.
gold.
If I heard you commented, I would ask. You do some
Okay.
gold. I'll mention it's for the locks.
Mhm.
She would just assume it's a moon or a spell. Just like the reason she's getting it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
No, it's
Nyx is
inside
just
that building.
mesmerized.
Which
Do we know
point?
what's inside this building yet?
She said
No.
to a
It's
cave.
trapped. It's got the alarm spell on it.
Well, it's just we know it just for her. She said to lead it led up to a cat.
Oh, we don't.
Wonder at some point if Jalira's like, so where are we going?
So as you approach this side, Rix is leading you towards the catwalk. You kind of pass under the belly of, or under the chin of this
Beast.
construct above you.
I wonder if you ever made a full size one, if you could write it.
I think this is a full size one.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to write at the.
Follow me,
Oh, okay, sorry.
and you'll see what. Rex is like, just wait. You're young yet, you know. Like,
I'm
and
coming.
he's like gonna point down. He's like, just follow. And then he's like, now look,
Okay.
now look down. What do you see?
Is that a control chair?
Yeah. And look,
Dude!
there's levers and there's cables and things. I can't make heads or tails of it, but Traveler informed me this was not the cause of the morning.
What about Z's vision?
Z's vision, Z made an assumption, I'm guessing, from the vision itself. I don't think necessarily it was... You know, people see things and then they come to conclusions about it. I love Z. She is capable of being wrong sometimes. Not often, but sometimes.
But the traveler just straight up told you, no, this had nothing to do with the morning.
Yeah, apparently not. Ali may have had some sort of connection to it, but I just got sort of a mental shrug at it. He's temperamental.
It's not helpful. Okay.
Yeah, he's helpful when he wants to be, you know. And then I have to remind him that I can't make progress if he's not being helpful. And then he's like, oh, I'll be helpful in the most obnoxious way possible, you know.
When Nyx would prank us all the time when we were young.
No, who do you think set those up for you?
You know, it's one of the main reasons why I learned artificing. I wanted a way to help fix things and keep everybody safe. I mean, I still hung out with Z, even though she was starting to get younger than me to some degree at that point. But
Do you think
the main reason I went to help you with those were rats is just because I wanted to keep you guys safe from all that stuff you get up to.
Yeah.
No regrets. No, listen.
They were nice.
As
They
you
helped
climb
us.
down onto the platform there.
He's-
Rix, go ahead and make your comment.
Oh, Rix was just going to be like, so I was thinking, we could potentially use this to get rid of the Emerald Claw. Should they arrive, maybe position it in such a way.
Do you think maybe it has a huge breath weapon? We could just turn it, go.
Oh, if it were that convenient, I hope it's true. That, or maybe if we could figure out how to get it to actually move, we could use it for getting back to Ironton without having to negotiate with a living
Did I
spell.
see any propulsion methods or anything?
You did not.
He's like,
Though, as he's speaking to you, your hands are just kind of lovingly caressing the control system here. It's really well designed. You're just like
freaking cannon.
intuitive. Like you're like, yeah. And that's at that point, that's when your diamond shaped indentation in the very center of the.
What has the traveler told you about the things we've been collecting? Did we misunderstand those too?
He said that what we were looking for was near an entrance. The entrance to this facility. We came through the back door.
And we found them over there.
So I assumed that and from what Odiana said, it leads up to a cavern, which leads to a blue door, which is likely the main entrance. What are you thinking? She gonna puke on the baby?
No, I'm wondering if she forgot about the dragon mark.
Oh.
That was my thought.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Your chunky cheeks. All right. He said, "What are you thinking, Cherry?"
If we could count on this to use against the Emerald Claw, what I'd want to get done. Get some sleep, recharge some spells, show Odiana the library.
I mean, we have less than a day. Do you think it's possible?
I don't know what to think. I'll have to take some time to study before I don't want to jump to any conclusions.
What was the thought?
I'm gonna start doing an investigation.
He's
Okay, roll me
gonna
an
start.
investigation check.
He was gonna start helping her kind of poke around. Now that he's closer, I guess he's joining her down here to poking around closer to it. I don't know if that will give her advantage, but he's trying to help.
Sure, that can give her advantage.
Alright. So, my 10 minutes. I'll go ahead and start. Yes.
You said you were doing an investigation. Are you identifying?
Sorry, I meant identify.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Rix is just
Sorry.
gonna just poke around and look at things and kind of look to see where the cables are, if they're color coded or anything.
They're all gray. No.
Let me know if you see anything that looks like it could be a exhaust port, propulsion.
That's assuming I know what those are.
Okay.
Rix. That's
Okay.
true.
And or if you see some sort of gyrosphere cover generator.
I'm gonna have to ask you to explain what a gyrosphere is.
Oh, it's a. I'm gonna focus on this.
Okay.
As you like start to like your chanting, like you keep kind of muttering things, and he kind of pulls you out of your chant for just a minute, and you're like, focus.
You do your thing. I'll just poke around and not break anything.
Rix, roll me another investigation check.
Okay. Can't wait to see how rotten it's gonna be. Oh, it's better.
You're poking around, you're seeing things. You begin seeing that some of the holes in the console, they have a shape to them. Like kind of breaking the first roll of stick not thine appendages into unknown order, kind of poke around inside. You feel that they're shaped and structured as if a octagonal shaped piece of metal, possibly something of a dragon shard structure fits into the hole.
Uh-huh. Are there other holes like it of a different shape? Like the little
There seem to
shaped
be
game?
9 of them.
Yeah. We need to find a purple key. We need to find a purple key. Rix is like, we need a purple key. Where are we gonna find a purple key?
I just need to hold my breath longer.
Rix is like, where are we gonna find a purple key?
Marissa knows. Kiz doesn't.
But he's
Probably
gonna
the
wait.
back
He's gonna
of
wait
Allie's
for
style.
Cherry to finish before he shows her what he's learned.
Okay. Back over with the other group.
Nyx is gushing at this point.
All pretenses have just fallen away from Nyx's face, and she's like, the baby.
Baby. Just a bit. Like, she actually really loves kids. So she's absolutely just like, it's so cute. She is probably crying a little bit too.
Every so often, both Colin and Odiana will stop what they're doing, come over, see the baby safely in your arms, see that well taken care of. They'll goo and ga, and they'll touch its face, and then they'll be like, "It's so nice to have other people here to help watch," and then they'll go back to doing what they're doing. They begin hauling bits of lumber up. They begin securing more of the broken decking down, slowly, bit by bit, working on this ship.
What's his name?
I mostly just call him the Barnacle right now. We haven't really thought of a name.
Understand.
Galvus is a good one.
Again, both like as they're like kind of turning around to go back to their stations, they both stop. Like you see, like because they're both facing opposite ways, so you see their head and you see their neck and shoulders tense, and then all of a sudden they're kind of passive release again. Oh, Galvus it's a wonderful name. We'll think about it. We'll try it. Think about it. Try it out. We'll try it. I mean, you do seem to know an awful lot about us. Maybe you would know what better to name our child than we would.
Just kind of swallows and looks away.
You want to hold him, Bruce?
There is like a look of like sheer panic and terror on his face, and he's just, you're doing a great job. I think that.
She's gonna get up and move toward him with the baby.
All of a sudden, Bruce is running again.
Running from the baby.
He just stands there and he's just like, I don't really know anything about kids. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm all thumbs. I don't have you guys's, agility. It's not a good idea. You're good. You're good.
I was an assassin. I was a murderer, and I'm holding the baby. You can hold the baby.
You have really good reflexes from that.
Ting, 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 blang! And so he turns around and looks.
Nice.
And turns herself, so she's working at the anvil, so she kind of keeps. Now.
No, I'm clumsy. Just Z, do you want to hold?
The barnacle, sure.
you at any point deny that you want to, like, in all of that, I was trying to listen very carefully. Did you deny that you wanted to hold the baby?
At no point did he deny it. He just gave reasons why it wouldn't be a good idea.
Okay. Cool. Just you're not banking on that deception check.
I mean, you can still roll a deception check to see if you want. I mean, he is trying to conceal.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a deception check with advantage. Next, you can roll me an insight check.
That would be 2 18s for a 23.
Oh my gosh.
Now, Bruce, he wants the baby to pass to Zanim. Like, that's he's
worried about dropping it.
Genuinely worried about dropping or hurting the child. Zanim, you are offered a baby.
I take the baby. Can you guys hear me again? There was a while where I was talking and you couldn't.
Oh no.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear now.
Hear.
Okay, cool. Z takes baby.
Times the baby's kind of starting to wake up, like it's getting kind of a little more interactive now because it was fed, it slept for a while, now it's kind of waking up and kind of seeing things, and it kind of as you take the baby into your arms, it just kind of reaches out its hand and puts it against your dragon mark and just like leaves its hand there.
Cool. On the other hand, as an enchantment wizard, would Z finally start seeing something funky in the way that they're interacting with the baby? Gee, we love the baby, and we're so glad that there are other people here to watch loved baby.
Wanna roll me an insight check with advantage?
I can't.
It's sweet that they're trusting their new assassin friend and everything.
There you go. Something is definitely, especially the whole, like, I'm an assassin, bang, and the most she does is turn around, like, so she can keep an eye on and the baby. Like, that was very much a...
Okay.
Most newborn mothers, when hearing that the person holding their baby was an assassin, might have stronger reactions than that.
Okay, so can I run an Arcana check to see what Z would think to do about this? Would I assume that it's the collar, or could it be something else?
Roll me an Arcana check. At 26, you know that there is definitely heavy enchantment magic associated with the collar, and the way they are acting is definitely associated with enchantment. Without running a test on them, having identified the collar, you know that it is a source of enchantment, but you are unsure of whether or not they themselves are under any enchantment as well.
Can I? Okay, I'll walk up to Odiana and I'll say,
Baby?
I'm an enchantment wizard. Would it be all right if I identified, or if I checked to see if there were any spells on you other than the collar?
Who did you ask?
Odiana.
Diana? Okay.
Watch where you go with the baby.
Because you have the baby in your arms again. As Odiana, or as Zanim approaches the line of no crossing, we once again hear a third squeak from Bruce.
Yep.
Zine, you do know that any that you would do to figure this out, you probably don't need to be holding a baby for.
I don't know. I'm pretty talented. As long as she comes past the line, I can touch her and hold the baby. Or I can get her to hold her baby.
Well, the baby is, as I said, he's a little more active, a little more fidgety, and he's starting to act like he's kind of hungry. Well, he looks like he might need some food or a change. How about we go over here a ways, and you can do your thing while I do my thing.
Sounds good.
So
Odiana
steps away from the forge and comes over to the crates here, and begins to feed the baby while you begin your identification on Odiana.
And Z
Uh,
would ritually cast Identify yet again.
Okay.
Can I
Like,
ask a question?
Yes.
Let her finish her.
what?
What have you guys been eating?
Oh, she'll point at a crate. You do see that some of the crate has some dried food supplies in it. Bruise, with her pointing at that crate, you see that you recognize that crate. There's a couple of other similar crates labeled and marked similarly down in the hold of the ship.
What happens when you run out?
We haven't run out yet, so I don't know.
Weird.
I'm gonna go see what the others are doing. That
Yeah. When Odiana takes the baby to feed, that's the first time Bruce has taken his eyes off of it the entire time. And he just kind of walks off.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Okay. So that happens. Your questions are asked and answered. Zanim, you begin your chant. At this point, Cherry, you're most of the way through your chant, but not quite. Rix, you're still discovering the things that you found.
Fixer's
You find
looking aside.
a pair of wires that have been broken that are just kind of sticking up.
Okay. He's just taking like
Do you-
note of everything that looks like it's gonna need some work on it, or there's missing pieces or whatever.
Okay. Bruce, where do you head?
He kind of just walks over just to like be on his own, kind of towards the back of the ship a little bit, and just standing there, just like staring off, breathing, and just like just emotionally wrung out, and has 1,000 questions and has no idea what's going on.
That's fair.
Nix, as you approach the other way, like looking down on your level, you see no sign of Rix or Jalira. You do see Fixer kind of dart down from above you and floating around the what looks like a, now that you're back a little distance, looks like it could be an eye.
am I able to tell that I'd have to get up
You could
on
probably,
top of these
you could probably
to see anything?
I think she could probably hear Jalera doing some of her chanting and like some like movement from within.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
you get closer, you can definitely hear more sounds. You figure out pretty quick that they're on top of this thing. Being an assassin as you are, you are not unfamiliar with catwalks and walkways getting from point A to point B and being in high places.
So she's gonna go ahead and go on up.
You will have to approach it from the far side at the top end of the map.
What?
So to get the catwalk to get up to them, you have to be at the catwalk at the top end of the map.
Okay. Keep doop. Kind of looks up. What are you doing?
Investigating.
Looks like you're doing a little more than just investigating.
Well, Cherry's, I think, performing a ritual. He's like kind of peeks over the edge to look at her. He's like, Cherry's doing a ritual. I think she's trying to identify what exactly this is. I'm just looking at the mechanics. Remember that room with the wall and the poison that you tried to get into?
Yes.
And the dragon shards.
Yes.
There's a space for those dragon shards in here. Oh, by the way, didn't cause the morning. So, just thought I'd throw that out there.
How can you be sure?
I'm gonna put a little faith in the Traveler for this one.
I see. Very bright in here.
You okay?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm doing all right.
Saw you were holding the baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. It was interesting.
Was it nice?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Never.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you want to help me poke around up here?
Sure.
Just climb up the catwalk. You can climb down in here.
Mm-hmm.
Rex does know he has the spider climb cleats on still, right?
Yeah.
Because if he like walked around underneath it and everything.
He's probably been like poking around, looking at everything, kind of walking around here. You know.
Is it over here? I have to go. Okay.
Yep. It's a bit of a climb up a ladder and then over and then down into. As you come down, looking at what where Cherry's at, you too notice this diamond-shaped imprint in the center of the console. Very familiar size and shape.
Well, we
That's interesting. She's gonna.
What's interesting?
That it looks like one of the things that we found.
Oh, what are the bananas?
Yeah, bananas.
What else is
Her commitment to character. It's like
Just like, yeah,
Oh.
it looks like.
the bananas, right?
Or,
he's gonna walk over to her.
where are the other holes?
And he points out to her where the holes are, and he points to her like the two wires that looks like they've been broken apart.
So there are 3 holes on the back side of the console over. Oh, here, let me just start drawing things. So there is 3 holes here that are vertical on each side, and then there are 3 holes here that are horizontal that run across the front of the console. So 3 on each side, 3 in the front.
And they're distinct shapes.
Do they have the shape of like some of the pieces we found in the box, or do they have the shape of the crystals that?
The crystals, I believe we saw, right?
So all of these are fairly uniform in shape and size. There are slight differences in some of them, but can both of you roll me a wisdom check?
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm really good at those. Hey,
Nice.
Hey,
nat 20 and 19.
It's the highest Bruce could roll.
Like my strength checks.
Hmm.
I think I say that too often.
Wisdom check there. Tricks. As you look at those holes, you notice their uniform size. You remember back to looking into that room where the gas was that Nyx teleported into. Some of those crystals were uniform,
the
but
other
some of
ones
them were very oddly shaped.
Yeah, but he suspects that If they can fit the purple key, there's probably more in near the library and the forge. That's what he's kind of thinking.
As both you and Nyx look at them, they look a lot in shape and size like the ones that you've been using to craft.
Rip.
Dang it.
We could always reshape some of them, couldn't we?
Why would you leave them
Potentially.
next to the forge? They don't have a forge with them.
Do you know the ones that you had? Do you have any more of those?
Yeah. I've got. Okay. Gosh, where's my notes? I know I still have all of the Eberron ones. I think I have one of the Sybaris ones left. And I think 2 of the Kyber.
Because if you look, those seem to have more of a match than the ones that you were talking about in the smoke,
Yeah.
the poison gas.
Yeah. Maybe real pity
So
if
you
we
find
end up
that-
using those to make really cool stuff.
Really cool
You
stuff.
find that the 3 Eberron shards that you have seem to fit very nicely in these slots back here. You should probably do that in red so you better idea. Here we go. So we'll go. With the more golden Eberron or Sybaris shards over here, and the Kyber shards over here.
So we need 1 more Kyber, 2 more Sybaris.
Make them
Do
the
you-
same.
Attempt to insert anything into any slots.
No. Not while Jalira's doing her study. Wait for Jalira before putting anything in
Rix
it.
has probably started it, going to do that, and Nyx is like, no, wait for Jalira to finish. He goes, oh, right.
We don't want to distract her.
She's got a nose for, I sometimes I think Mark of Zanim's house Mark should, hire her, because if there's any word of dragon shards, she'll find a way to them.
Alright. So
As this conversation finishes up, this is about when your identification goes off.
Life form do far first. Okay, now I'm done. You can talk.
do you want us to talk now? Because these crystals look like they'll fit right here.
So
Okay, what did I
the
figure out?
name of the particular item that you are trying to identify is called Project Glass Dragon.
Subtle.
Like the little box, this particular thing seems to have more weight and measure to it than the normal identify spell would activate. However, you are able to learn some things. In your identification process, nothing is revealed as far as it being self-powered. Has an external power source. It needs an external power source. You're able to able to know that the diamond-shaped schema pattern is required to operate this thing. And that when fully loaded, this thing can spew molten glass out at a rate of near the size of a cone of cold. So a giant cone of it that will indeed do 20 d20s worth of fire damage. And anything in that glass needs to start making constitution saves and dexterity saves to get out of it. And that's the lowest setting that you can determine.
From what I know, can I extrapolate what the worst it could possibly do?
Rose quarry.
You know about Rose Quarry.
So it can do what Rose Quarry. It can't do a nation, though, just a city.
Best guess? At the very least you know it can do a city. That in and of itself is pretty terrifying.
Man.
But again, nothing here that seems, catastrophic, but not like world-ending catastrophic.
Not morning catastrophic.
It is a weapon of major destruction, but not mass destruction.
What?
I mean,
This thing could just sneeze on Rose Quarry and destroy it.
That's kind of massive destruction there.
Yeah,
I think she
but-
means like not the world, but definitely a town.
All right.
I know. It's still.
Well, where are its wings?
All I know is it's not self-powered. It needs an external powered source.
It's
Looks
sort of-
like these crystals can fit in. Should we try?
I really want to try.
Carrie, I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Nix and Rix are already sold on trying it out.
Come on, why did you go? Is this super stupid, or do you think it won't kill us
Having
all
something-
immediately, right?
Having it in its disassembled manner as it is, it could be potentially nothing. Like, they could try to power it up, and with all the things that are taken apart, nothing could happen. Or the opposite could happen, and it could go off.
This is how it ends, not with a boom, but with an oh god, everything's on fire, oh god.
We're technically on top of it.
Can I estimate which crystals might power up the systems, but not necessarily the weapons?
Roll me an Arcana check. You're fairly sure that the Kyber shards will activate the weapons.
Okay, hold off on the Kyber shards. Besides,
The
we'll
Aberon
use
shards
one
will activate the main basic functions of the beast, and that you're not quite sure what the Sybaris shards do.
I wonder if the Sybaris might be for propulsion, or maybe connecting to the wings.
Should I put it in? Do I get
No.
to put it in?
Let's just do Eberron.
All right.
I have that, Baron.
We have the
Okay.
Eberron. We have the Eberron. Let's give it a
Okay.
shot. Eh?
One at a time.
Okay. You go first, Nix.
All right.
Oh, wait
She's
just a
just-
second. Fixer, get out of there.
Sorry. Fixer, get out of there. Oh, bless.
Oh gosh.
Right.
Find anything interesting?
So,
You
I'm gonna
insert
go
the
ahead and
first
put it in.
shard. Nothing happens.
second shard. Rix puts it in.
Nothing happens.
I mean, what else
He
do you
looks
think
to
of a
Cherry.
big, like,
Do you want
weapon?
to do the other one? Come on.
Probably needs the diamond.
Yeah, and there's also a broken wire, but it's worth exploring to see what happens with this. If that's connected to it.
So you want me to get it out? One of the diamonds?
No.
No, he's offering you
Just
the
offering
third
you the
Eberron
last Eberron shard. I mean, but nothing's probably gonna happen. I mean, the broken wire and whatever diamond thing,
Okay.
the diamond banana.
Okay.
You insert the third shard, and something happens.
What?
But that's what we're gonna look for today's episode.
Oh, come on!
He's waiting for that
guys are
cliffhanger.
watching.
Oh man!
Stay tuned to see what happens next.